today.
Okay. No, that's great. So I'm going to turn it over to Lauren in just a second, and just to let everyone know, we will record this as well, so that especially for those parents who couldn't make it, we'll be able to share it with them. And then if you have questions at all, please feel free to just put those into the chat box, or when our guests open it up for questions, you can just jump in at that time as well. So, Lauren, let me just turn it over to you, and then we'll go.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. So today we do have three presenters. They will all be talking about their different adult day programs. So I won't waste any more time. The first person I have for today is Laura Gonzalez, um, and she is with UCP Seguin. Did I say that correctly?
Seguin, UCP
Seguin.
Seguin.
Thank you. So I will let you start, and then whatever questions anybody has, we can write them in the chat box, and I will go through those at the very end. All right.
Question, were you going to put up my PowerPoint or you were going to give me sharing rights?
Um, I don't know who's available to, can somebody share? I don't know if I have
Yeah, yeah.
availability to share screens.
Let me just let me just open that up for you so you can share. Oops, hold on just a second. Oh my goodness, my eyes are getting so bad.
Do you
Okay.
say you're
Oh,
getting old?
yeah, okay, Rod. I'm gonna I'm gonna have to mute you. That's all there is to that, man. Oh, captions. Hey, Sarah, are you able to see that control to give access for share? Whoops.
I don't think I can because you are the host.
Okay.
Do you want me to pop over?
Yeah, I'm having
Okay.
trouble finding it.
I just send you a request to see if that makes it easier.
Oh, maybe it does. Oh, there you go, Laura. Try that. Let's see if that works for you.
All right, I think it works. Let
Should be
me
good.
just,
Okay. Thank you.
let me just close down a few things here. All right, can you guys all see my screen? All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Laura Gonzalez, and I'm from UCP Seguin of Greater Chicago. I'm the Director of Adult Transition Services, and I also handle the adult intake for the day programs. A little bit about UCP Seguin. So we believe that all people, regardless of ability, deserve to achieve their potential, advance their independence, and act as full members of the community. We stop at nothing to provide the life skills training, assistive technology, meaningful employment, a place to call home for people with disabilities, as well as we do specialized foster care for children. I'm going to tell you a little bit background on the agency. So we're a non-for-profit human service agency dedicated to enriching the lives of people with intellectual disabilities. We are headquartered in Cicero, Illinois. We provide residential employment, life skill training, children foster care, assistive technology, recreation, and many other services to more than 1,750 individuals from birth to old age. And we work with 85 communities in the Chicagoland area across Illinois. And some of the programs we offer are also in 4 other states. So we do employment. We help individuals with community jobs in the Chicagoland area. We also have special enterprises such as the Garden Center and the gift store. For those of you that are aware that we did have a car wash auto center, unfortunately that business did close down about a little bit over a month ago, but we still have the Seguin Guardian and Gifts over in our Cicero location. We also work with individuals with disabilities when it comes to socializing in their community and offering residential placement. And obviously, we work with their physical and mental well-being as far as, and also vocational needs. Just a little bit about our children's program. So we do work, we have a children's program, adolescents, for foster care from birth to 21, and that is offering specialized care for children when it comes to behavior and medical challenges. And I mentioned we do have Infinitech program, which is more on assistive technology and accessibility services, and that's out of our Tinley location. And that's the one that is offered not only in Illinois, but also across 4 other states. And our annual budget is about 56 million with more than 520 employees, and we serve 130 children and adults in foster care. So I'm going to talk a little bit about all these services that we offer. Community day services is CDS is what the state calls the day program. I'm going to talk a little bit about building bridges to the future's transition program that might be of great use to you right now. Our residential home-based services, which is the standalone services for families that have received state funding. We have a rec leisure program and other support services such as employment, behavior, nursing, and case management. So when it comes to our day programs, we offer 2 models. We offer the building-based model and community connections, and it pretty much is like it sounds like. A building-based model is going to be individuals that attend a day program and spend most of their time in that building. And then with community connections is the other extreme where individuals might they show up and connect with the group at one of our day program locations, but 80 or more of at least 80% of their time is going to be spent in community activities. A little bit about our locations. So Cicero being our biggest day program, it has capacity for 230 individuals. It's also our headquarters for office space. And we offer both models, the building base and the community connections. Then going up south, we have our Tinley Park location on 183rd in Harlem, and it also offers both models, but everything but Cicero is going to be small sites of 40 individuals or less. We have another location in Oak Park that's community connections and hybrid. It has started to offer building base. And then the last one in Cook County would be our LaGrange location. That's a combination of a senior center and a regular day program. And it's typically right now more building based. Out in our DuPage, we have our Villa Park location, which is strictly community connections programming, and that's been around for 16 years. Right before the pandemic, we opened our Wheaton location that right now is hybrid, offering both models. And Berkeley location in Cook County that I missed, but right now is also being offered as a hybrid model, building based and community connections. And then the last location that we opened was in Addison, which was opened in November 2023, and that's also in DuPage County. Overall, we've served over 420 individuals in all of our locations when it comes to the day program. And since the pandemic, we've had a little cutback of services, but I would say right now we're probably close to 300 individuals across all the 8 locations that I mentioned. What they work on the day program is obviously basic development and life skills through center-based or community-based. We work on communication, physical fitness, social, rec leisure, and life skills. Also work on homemaking, pre-vocational, doing volunteer, doing food prep, kitchen prep, laundry, and obviously artistic activities such as visual art, music, and movement. And we've also do therapeutic support through behavior health challenges and also enriching and have also offered enriching experiences such as our horticulture therapy through our greenhouse, and we offer volunteer opportunities. So as far as what kind of attendance is required in our day program, so you can either choose a part-time or full-time option. If you would like part-time, we do have a minimum of 2 days or 10 hours a week. The program is funded or can be paid through the state certified funding with the adult home-based waiver and or SILA residential funding. And for those individuals that are still waiting for funding or prefer to do private pay, we do offer that as an option. Always want to note that transportation is not provided, so it is something that the family would need to make sure to put in place. And the individuals also are required to bring their own lunch on a daily basis. However, as far as transportation, even though we cannot physically provide transportation, if the family chooses to use RTA paratransit, we do have a voucher system where once the individual is registered and admitted to one of our day programs, we would be able to cover the cost by providing the vouchers. A little bit about residential. So we are an agency that is pretty big when it comes to residential program. We have over 76 homes throughout Cook and West County, Cook and DuPage County, and we serve over 85 communities in the Chicagoland area. The models we run in residential is your typical 24/7 community integrated living arrangement. We also have the adult foster care model and intermittent SILA model along with family SILA, and I'll go a little bit into that in a few minutes. So the family SILA would be for someone that still wants to continue living at home but needs some support. So it would be typically about 15 hours of someone coming in to support the individual while they're still living with their family in the community. Intermittent SILA is very similar, but this could be also an individual that wants to live in their own apartment with minimal supports. The adult foster care is providing 24/7, but more in a foster family environment, and it's typically no more than 2 to 3 individuals, and it could be a family providing the support or an adult or a couple. And then the last one being the more traditional 24-hour shift staff SILA, where individuals are provided support 24/7. In the past, we were doing first, second, and third shift. Since the pandemic, we've implemented a new model that's 6-7. It's called 6-7 model, where a team of staff come in and physically live with the individual 6 days straight, and then team number 2 comes for the second 7 days. So it's a more of a consistent care instead of having different staff at different shifts. We do have a rec leisure program similar to the local park districts, and we usually will put up a calendar or catalog, and families will get this. And it would be either free programming or minimal cost, and the individuals can call and sign up for activities that they would like to participate in. A little bit about our home-based services. So this is a standalone service. If you've already received the state PUNS funding and would like a caseworker to help you with managing the funds, this is something that we offer. Typically, it's referred as self-directed assistant, SDA, and they will help you manage the funds, making sure that everybody gets paid accordingly. If you want to be a personal worker, they will help you fill out paperwork with Access, which is the employer through the state, and just kind of help you navigate all of the funding that you get from the state. Other support services, like we mentioned, we do offer employment. Typically, employment is through DRS, so we encourage the family to connect with Department of Rehab Services, refer the case over to our employment department, and then they will help your family member with getting a job and or providing the job coaching support that is needed. We have a pretty extensive behavior department with board certified behavior analyst. And that is a standalone service too, that if you were interested to not only reduce maladaptive behaviors, but also to increase skill building, that is something that you can purchase through your adult home-based waiver. Case management, someone to help you coordinate all services and supports. And then when it comes to nursing, we do offer nursing services only at our Cicero location. That is the location that has the most individuals and those that tend to need the kind of support. If your family member was to go to any of the other locations, the staff would be trained on how to do medication, to dispense medication. And if it's a nurse service that the staff would be able to do, the nursing department will also train the staff to do that, such as G-tube feedings and so forth. Do you want to know about our admission process? So typically, if you do have state funding already, you will let your ISC know that you're interested in a service that we offer, and they would send over the referral. We would review the information, set up an in-person or virtual interview. We would conduct tours or trial visits for day program or residential, depending on what you're looking for. Once we obtain all the paperwork and do a personal file, then we would then proceed with the scheduling and admission staffing. Now I'm going to focus on the Building Bridges to the Future transition program or services. This is something that you might be able to tap into right now. It is a service that's offered to the school districts and to parents while they're still in special education. So we've served over 300 individuals since we started it back in 2009. It is privately funded through grants, foundations, and local mental health boards and or family donations. And our goal is to ensure that successful transition of students with intellectual disabilities. We work with individuals 14 to 25 or as long as you need us. And our goal is to make sure that graduates are connected once they leave the school system. Some of the things that we do is we make sure that families know and understand that there is the PUNS state wait list and that you get on it and stay on it so that when you age out of the school, you will be able to access supports and services as an adult. We help families apply for government benefits such as Social Security, Medicaid, Link Card. And we also help families with legal resources when it comes to special needs trust. And we actually do paperwork for the legal court guardianship process or offer paperwork in leads when it comes to power of attorney and supportive decision making. We also support the local school districts and private placements when it comes to transitioning students. We support families at IEPs if you would like us to attend an IEP to help you understand the process and advocate for services. And we also help when it comes to the student aging out of school. What is next, whether you want to look at our day program or a different day program or local park districts, college programs, making sure that your student will have something to do after they leave the special education system. So quick overview of about what services that we do. We support families when it comes to PUNS registering and making sure you renew annually, looking at guardianship options, applying for SSI or SSDI, or managing it to make sure that you keep it, helping you apply and maintain Medicare and Medicaid. And like I mentioned before, legal resources when it comes to special needs trust wills, and we support families in helping you open up an ABLE account. And we offer free trial visits in any of our day programs, or we'll connect you with other agencies that you might be interested in. We do have our team of transition staff that work with me. So this is just the list of the 3 team members that work with me, and we try our best to try to separate based on geographical areas. So on there, you will see what districts each staff support, but we do kind of cross over. I think for the most part, Veronica Chiquito and myself cover the South area and have families been supported over at the Elim school. If you're interested for day program or transition services, my contact info is here. If you're looking or interested for any other services such as residential or home base, Michael Sheldon is the team member that works with me on the other side of the agency when it comes to admissions. And that is it on my end. I don't know if there's any comments or questions, or if we're going to go to the next presenter and then we can always come back to that.
No, that was wonderful. I think what we'll do is we'll move on with Allison and then Kayla, and then at the very end, if there are questions that pop up, we can ask them then, or go ahead and just type those into the chat box and I'll go through them at the very, very end. Thank you so
Great.
much. That was great.
Thank you.
Okay. Allie, I think you are up next.
Sounds great. Let me share as well. All right. All right. Everybody hear and see okay? I'll look for some thumbs up, smiles. Excellent. Fantastic. Thanks for the multimodal communication. Wonderful. Thanks so much for having me. There we go. I am here along with my colleague, Kim Phelps. Kim, if you want to wave over there. We represent behavioral learning. And so similar to Laura, thank you so much for introducing us to Seguin. I know we are neighbors to your Oak Park location and have a couple of folks that we collaborate on as well. So it's a small community. We're all here to support. So I'm going to start with a little bit of a wall of words just to see and hear about our mission. We really focus on the core principle of compassion. That's compassion for ourselves as practitioners, for the families and individuals that we support, as well as our peers in interacting with each other. And we do that through a lens of collaboration. That is collaborating again with other providers, but most importantly with the folks who are receiving services. So we really work hard to make sure everybody has a voice and we hear it and they use it and we encourage it. And ultimately, we hope that that leads to a sense of belonging. So that folks are really building a community. And that's what we're striving to do at behavioral learning. So these are me and Kim on our best day, right? When I had longer hair. So just wanted to give you a quick intro, some team members of who folks may interact with. I founded behavioral learning actually 6 years ago. We're in our 5th year at our center. We started online in the pandemic because, you know, we all needed support. And I also had 2 tiny humans who somehow I had to be mom and principal and all the things at the same time as paying my mortgage, like many of us. So we had some wonderful families at the time that I was supporting, actually, Kim and I collaboratively at different agencies. And so from there, I was like, that just sounds like a lot of work, you guys. And it is. And I am so glad that I had some families who really believed in our mission and vision. So we, Kim and I work very closely at both in all the levels of support that we provide. And so what the 3 main ones that we're going to focus on today here that may be helpful for our Elim community are first and foremost our adult services. We'll talk a little bit about that. We also offer individual and group counseling. So we are all board certified behavior analysts as well as licensed counselors and social workers. And so having that lens from which to view support really creates a holistic opportunity. And we do that all online. We support folks across 3 states now in the entire state of Illinois. And we have a really engaging program and platform because over 80% of the people we serve identify as neurodivergent. So we work with folks with intellectual disabilities, on the autism spectrum, and a variety of co-occurring mental health diagnoses, sometimes in home, sometimes within their school, and sometimes within their group home. So lots of different ways to access support. And we also have a robust parent or caregiver support program, both individual and group, because let's be honest, parenting is hard. And then you add the layer of special needs on top of that, and there's just a whole extra level of support that we could all use. So adult services, bit of wall of words, but I'll share a video in just a sec so you can get a visual if you're like me to kind of see what we're doing here. This is the short story. Happy to expand on anything here or more. We are located in Oak Park. We serve folks 18 and up. Sometimes folks are currently in their transition program and come to us a couple days a week too, really trying to do that graduated transition. Some folks have already completed their education and come to us in their 20s. We provide services between 8:30 and 2:30, and we have a very small learner to trainer ratio. That's a 1-to-4 ratio. Sometimes it's less depending on the day. We never have more than 8 learners at a time in our center. So it's really important that we create a small community so that folks can get the level of support that they need. Doesn't mean that they need intense support. It means that they may have some specific focused areas that they're working on. We have a really flexible schedule, anywhere from 1 day a week to 4 days a week. We can build in half days, and we really try to work with folks to create a transition plan that's going to be beneficial and help that person be successful. So what our program consists of is a blend of clinical behavior analysis and counseling services. So we use a model called acceptance and commitment therapy, and it really focuses on building psychological flexibility. So just like our bodies need to bend and move and stretch, we need our minds to do the same thing. And that's really hard in a world that doesn't always support that. So we work to create a program for folks to do that. We then build emotional regulation into the daily living skill training, right? A lot of times, frankly, folks come to us because places like Elim create a variety of opportunities for people to learn and build on these skills so that they can be as independent as they want or are able. But then when we're dysregulated, all those skills go out the window, right? I can make that bagel, but it falls face down on the floor. Our job is to help that stay a bad moment and not a bad day. And that's the kind of stuff that we work through in the moment at our center. We do that in a variety of ways, from individual supports to small groups. And so it's a pretty flexible schedule. And that's why we have a great team to support that. And within that, we offer a variety of enrichment. So that's learning both in the center as well as in the community. We really want people to be able to access all the things that they're able to. We use a lot of public transportation. We have partnerships with a variety of community programs so that even on hard days, if folks are not able to be in the community then comes to them. So we have different art classes. We have an improv troupe and group that we do. We have chef and cooking classes. So lots of things that we can do even in our center if folks are not able on that particular day to head out safely. So our tuition is private pay. That includes everything, the enrichment activities, lunch, snacks, all of those things. And this just gives you a little bird's eye view into what our particular program looks like. So we are the lower level of a 3-flat in Oak Park, and we are set up to be like a home. You're going to spend some time there. You're going to spend a lot of time there sometimes. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to, kick your shoes off at the door, put your indoor shoes on, whatever you need to do to be your best self. And so just to give you a little idea of what our space looks like. And then online, like I said, we can support folks at an individual or group level, and we do accept a variety of private insurances as well as Medicaid and the DHS waiver. Because we're all BCBAs as well as counselors, we can tap into a couple different codes to make sure that folks can use their entire monthly waiver for whatever services they might need. Our approach is very values driven. Often folks come to us because they're not quite sure what they care about. Right? Especially as we're coming off in our 20s, any education system, right? We're pushed, we're told we have this path that we're on, and all of a sudden we've done it, we've graduated, and we're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So many of our learners are in that boat, right? And so we work with them to create goals and a plan that is really meaningful to them. And when we can tap into that, we find that motivation really helps to carry whatever may have been blocking them to get to that next level. So again, we serve folks with a variety of diagnoses. We do mental health testing. We don't do neurological testing. So we have some great folks we work with if you're looking for that level. But if you're not sure and you're like, I think there may be some anxiety happening here, we're happy to work with folks to help clarify and figure that out. We are most ideal for folks who communicate primarily with words. However, we have systems set up that if somebody does use a device, we can tap into that directly. So long as they're able to engage with a variety of technologies, we're happy to work with folks to get meaning out of our time together. And then again, most of the folks that we serve, including myself, don't just want to sit and talk at someone. It's much more effective when we can do engaging activities and interactions. And so we do a lot of learning and building through those different modalities. One thing to keep in mind, I mentioned improv. Every quarter we do a free community event. Anyone is welcome. You'll see our learners, you'll see my own family members come. This one we're having in a couple of weeks. It's on May 16th. Please know anybody is more than welcome. You do not even have to sign up. It's free. Just show up. Um, Sometimes we have a few of us, sometimes we have a lot of us. This one is all improv. It's super fun. Annie is our improv instructor. She's a former SLP. She does a phenomenal job engaging with people who communicate all different ways and whose brains work in creative, unique capacities. So if you want to come play, join us on May 16th. And then last but certainly not least, we offer a variety of parent and caregiver support. So again, our program is designed under that acceptance and commitment therapy umbrella. And this is specific to a parent. So we do offer support alongside your child. If your child is receiving services, then we often integrate a family session in with that as part of the program. However, sometimes you just need your own person. And you need somebody maybe who understands the systems that your kid is already operating in. So we identify what the needs are for that particular parent and can create individual opportunities for counseling and support. We also do a variety of parent groups. We're about to start our next summer cohort in our parent support group. This is Parenting Out Loud. You're welcome if you're on the call right now to scan the QR code or just take a look at our website. This is an 8-week group, and I call it a group, not a course, because yes, there's going to be techniques that you're, maybe learning or are really validating to what you're already doing. But it's really to build community, to connect with other parents who are parenting a neurodivergent child, whether that's somebody under 18 or over 18. We had our last group actually was mostly teens and young adults. So lots of different opportunities for folks to connect. How to connect. This is Elizabeth. She's not here on this call. She's our director of operations. She's the lead of our intake team. And the best way to reach her, or honestly, any of us, is to fill out a connect with us form through our website. You could email us directly at info@behaviorallearning.com. Or if you text, feel free, pick up your phone and text our 866 number, call us there. Any one of those modalities are going to get you a response from somebody who can help connect at whatever and answer any questions that you may have. All right. So I know we'll do questions at the end, so I'll hold off on that slide. I think I hit everything.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
Yeah,
It
thank
sounds like a
you.
great program for all of our students here. Okay, last but not least, we have Kayla Warren, and she is from LARC in Lansing. So, Kayla, if you are ready.
Yes, I am ready. Hello, everybody. My name is Kayla Warren. Like Lauren just said, I work at LARC in Lansing, Illinois. I am the Director of Community Programs and Quality Improvement. I pretty much handle the intake. I do collaborate with my Director of Community Day Services. Um, but I'm the one that gets the referrals and reviews them. I review them with her. And then, that process is after that, we would set up a interview, in-person interview and a tour, get to meet in person and talk about whatever likes and dislikes and what the goals are of, potential individual coming to us from transition. Then after that, we would set up a trial visit. That would typically be either a week or two, just based off of the individual and their needs. Sometimes people need a little bit longer to transition and get used to things. We don't typically like to rush people and rush that process. So after the trial, we would come back together, discuss how things went, and if it seems like it's a good fit on both ends, then we would go ahead and get them started. What we do at our day program, we're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 till about 2:30. Day typically starts off with some type of group activity, getting everybody together, whether it's through exercise. Sometimes they do karaoke. Sometimes they play a game. or it can just be going over current events or whatever they may have done over the weekend. And then after that, they break off into different groups, just kind of based off of their interests. We do have our job club, which is a newer and growing thing. So we do have employment and employment opportunities. We do have in-house employment. That's really just our janitorial crew. They clean bathrooms here, they vacuum, sweep, clean the lunchroom after lunch. And we do have some community employment. We have people working at our local village. They do some shredding during the week, and they also do cleaning on the storefronts and in the parking lots. They do that in Lansing, and they also do that in Munster, Indiana, which is right around the corner from us here in Lansing. We also have a job at a local bowling alley. They do some janitorial work over there as well. Um, and the one of the jobs at the village is actually shredding. So a lot of our jobs are catered around janitorial, but there are other opportunities based off of, the individual and what their skills are. And we do have in-house, we do kind of mock stocking, grocery store things, and we do shredding in-house as well. Um, we also volunteer at a couple different places. We go to it's called Hearts in Motion. It's a resale shop here in Cherville. That's not too far from us. They go there twice a week. They work on sorting clothes, cleaning shelves, things like that. Which that's also another way that they can be building skills towards any future employment. And we also volunteer at a shop called Paws. It's another resale shop, and it's also geared towards pets. We're there twice a week as well. More of what goes on in-house. We have our garden club. We have 3 raised garden beds out in the back that our individuals are in charge of taking care of and planting and watering. And this year, for the first time, we're actually going to be participating in a local farmers market. I believe that'll start in June or July. So they're going to be taking some of the things that they've grown in the garden and selling them at the farmers market, or using those items to make or bake something to sell at the farmers market. Um, what else? So a part of that is our cooking club. They do that at least once or twice a week. A lot of times it's something themed like Cinco de Mayo's tomorrow, so I'm sure there'll be something that's being cooked or made or something in regards to that. They always make salsa because a lot of times we have tomatoes or onions and things like that that they grow out of the garden. Um, we also work on life skills. So some of your more basic things of cleaning or hygiene. We do have a washer and dryer here, so they can get some practice with that. Of course, with the cooking club, we have a full kitchen that they're able to work and supervised, of course, with cleaning things. Um, with our day program as well, like I said, hygiene, whether that's washing your hands or brushing your teeth. We do try to assist with those things, pretty much trying to meet the individual where they're at and whatever they feel is important for them to learn. Um, we also collaborate with Sir Thomas Star twice a week. We go to a local fitness center, and a group goes there with them to learn a different sport to play. One of our individuals actually has been working on losing weight, so they've been tracking that, and they gave him a prize when he kind of got to a big milestone of his weight loss journey. Um, Another thing, we do have our Scylla homes. We have 10 Scylla homes currently. Up to 4 individuals are in each home. Each individual does have their own room. Um, they're, I won't say 24 hours because they're here during the day, Monday through Friday, but outside of that, they are fully staffed, 24/7 and 24/7 on the weekends. Um, we are, closed for holidays, um, well, major holidays. As far as transportation, our home-based individuals typically come through PACE. And once that's set up, we set up a subscription ride. So it wouldn't be, they would have to call every day, whatever days that they attend. That ride would already be set up for them once they get started. As far as attendance, we do accept part-time people, but they have to come a minimum of 3 days. And of course, we have full-time people. Um, as far as funding, it is through the home-based waiver, the PUNS list. And we do accept private pay, but I always encourage people to wait for that funding because private pay can be pretty costly, especially at 3 days a week. Um, yeah, I believe that's it as far as I can think of as far as, oh, I just saw something pop up. Well, I can wait. But yeah, that's it about our program.
Thank you so much. I will go through the questions, but I just want to thank all three of you for taking your time today to speak. Very beneficial to all of us to hear about all three programs. Just want to go through first the questions in the chat box, and then, of course, if anybody has any questions, we can go through those too. There is a question that says, how many adults does LARC serve at their day program?
We serve around 65 currently. Half of that is our home-based people, and then half our residential people. But we do have the capacity for more than that. We used to serve around 100 prior to COVID, but yeah, our numbers did go down since then.
Thank you. And then can the slides be shared? I do have Laura's slideshow. And then Allison, if you would like to send those. Oh, yep, she'll send those. And then do you want me, Sarah, to just send those over to you?
Yeah, you can. And then we usually send them to Tony Stafford, and he's able to post them on our curriculum hub along with the recording, just so families that weren't able to come today can watch the recording and then reference the slides. That's super helpful.
Perfect. I'll send those over as soon as we're done here.
Thanks.
Um,
I did have another question. For anyone that didn't touch on this, can you talk about any medical needs that, would not be able to be supported within your programs? We do have quite a few students that require, medical assistance during the day.
I can go first. So I did mention that our sister location does have nursing on site. It is the biggest day program because we have capacity over 220 individuals. All the other locations are small settings. As far as nursing supports, they will be offered at all locations, either by the nurse or the staff, as long as the staff is able to be trained by the nurse. So I can give you an example. We could do G2 feedings at all locations because that is something that the staff will do. But when it comes to certain medical procedures that only a nurse would be able to do, that would limit the attendance. So I had an individual that was aging out last year, and he needed support directly from the nurse because he had a one-on-one in school, a nurse one-on-one in school. And we were not able to consider because it was not a procedure that the nurse would be able to train the staff to be able to do. So it will depend on what kind of procedure. Our staffing ratios are based on the state funding. When they're in the building, it's 1 to 5, one staff to 5 individuals. When it's in the community, it's 1 to 4. So anything, an individual, that's really the criteria we use. If the individual can be supported in those group settings, then we would be able to work with them. We do offer personalized or individualized support when it comes to toileting and or feeding. So they'll be in a group throughout the day, but when it comes to their hygiene and or feeding, then we will do the individualized support as needed.
Great question. I can pipe in similar to what Laura just said on the individual for feeding or different needs in that level. We can provide that support, assuming there is an outside nurse or SLP who can come in and do that training. We don't provide assistance with G-tube, but we are able to support folks so long as they can, who take a variety of medications and things of that particular nature, so long as their individual and or guardian sign off on that particular piece.
We do have 2 nurses here at our day program, one full-time, one part-time. So we would be able to accept someone with a G-tube, or if it was a medication that they needed to take during the day, as long as we had the proper, paperwork from the doctor and then consent from guardian, we would be able to administer that.
Thank you for all of that. I don't see any more questions in the chat box, but were there any other questions that anybody had before we end? Doesn't sound like it.
No, thank you very much. We really appreciate it coming from a parent perspective.
Yes, thank you guys so much for coming today and taking your time to chat with all of us.
So I'll let you know that when we get the recording, it just takes a little time to process, but I'll be sending it out like we usually do after our monthly meetings. So we'll send that out to families as well as staff members here at Elim, and you'll have access to that information. So that would either be later today or tomorrow. Usually at the latest, it takes a day sometimes. So yeah. Good. Lauren, thank you so much for pulling this together. And Allie and Laura and Kim and Kayla, thank you so much for being here just to help support our parents who are trying to work through these things. So thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Good
Thanks
luck.
for all the information. I hope you all have a good, happy Mother's Day.
Oh.
Thank you. Same to all the moms in your life.
Mhm.